Hi, everybody. It is 11:11 a.m. And you know what time that is. We are celebrating here, Hope More. Happy New Year! So on the count of three, I want you to get all excited and say with me, okay? In the count of three, 1, 2, 3. Happy New Year! Okay, I'm not crazy. I know it's July 1st. Many of you recognize July 1st from your corporate ventures or business work. That for most people, our first day of the new fiscal year is July 1st. So for the last 3 years, I have celebrated a new year. And I break down fiscal in also being physically and spiritually and financially having an opportunity to start over. So no year like this year has been such a prime time to do that, to start over. So in honor of celebrating our new year, like every new year, we're going to have resolutions. We're going to talk about things that are important. And I just thought today's guest and today's topic was a great way to start our new year. I'm going to soon bring her on. We were going to have Kendra Norwood Brown, who is a singer, songwriter extraordinaire, and also the creator of Project Imagine. I think I'm saying it right, or Imagine Project. And I was a person who participated in that project, and you'll find out a little bit about that. But just by way of making sure you all are clicking in and we got people coming in right now, I need you guys to share. I know that there was not a lot of lead time, and I realize many of you will watch this on replay, which is totally fine. But I want to bring Miss Norwood Brown on, and you're going to welcome her. So I need you again to click share on this. If you need a positive word, if you need to think about love, if right now on Wednesday, which is known as Hump Day, you're just like, I need another movement. Celebrate Hope Day. We don't see no humps around here. And look at this video. Come back to it. I'm sure you're going to be encouraged. Okay? Are you ready? Are you ready? Do I hear you? Woo! Ready? We're going to bring her on. Welcome with me, Miss Kendra Norwood Brown.
Oh my God.
Hi, Kendra.
Hi. You're so cool. You're cool.
Oh, gosh. It's so good. It's so good to see you. I got to see you for a second before we started. We talked on the phone, but it's just been like really, really cool to like have you come on. And I know you're super busy, so I don't take it for granted that you come on. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm good. I'm really, really good. I'm really good. How are you?
I'm more psyched now that we're able to make the 11:11 time.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit why that's so important in here. I'm just gonna go ahead and share because I'm the production team of one, and you'll hear a little bit more about how Kendra and I met dealing with production, and I'm laughing because at myself, like, okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and share. Kendra, I don't know if you shared this on your page yet, but we definitely want to get people to come in, even though they can watch it on their what is it called? Replay. There we go. Okay. I have to share. So you know what I would love to do, Kendra? I want them to see the testimonial, and then I'll bring us on back. You don't have to leave. You don't have to leave at all. But this way I can start sharing. Oh, I'm so funny because I get stuck at your the pictures of your baby. So cute. Yes.
My baby.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. Well, you know what? I think better yet, we'll start at your testimonial for the beginning, okay? And that'll just catch our audience up as they click in, okay? So I'm going to share the screen, and I may remove us after a while, but this is so much fun. You guys have been so awesome. So I'm going to... This is why I was not a computer major.
Oh no, I'm awful at technology. I'm
Are
trying.
You? I don't feel so bad.
I'm not. It's just like a lot of the social media stuff I'm not the best at, but I'm okay.
Okay.
Oh my
Well, look
goodness.
at that beautiful face. We're gonna hear from
Oh,
you.
please.
It means a great deal to me, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what inspired me to put it out in the universe. Baby boy, his first birthday, but Ahmaud Arbery's mom did not. Said I wouldn't cry, but it's so hard to even say that aloud. It's such a harsh reality, and I was so inspired, and it's so sad to say I was inspired by someone's passing, but the fact that I held and loved my baby and heard his voice is mind-blowing, because she didn't have that opportunity. And as I'm walking with my child on his birthday with a happy birthday balloon blowing in the wind, tied on his stroller, all I kept thinking about was her and what she is going through. That is what pushed me to call on my family and friends and join me in releasing this little music video that I hoped inspired you to think about our children and the world that they have to live in. If you haven't checked it out yet, please do so. Again, thank you to everyone who participated in it. I love you guys so much. And it's so hard to find the words to bring comfort right now, because I know what we're going through. It seems insurmountable and we can't get through it, or we won't get through it, but I know we will. I have hope. I have faith. And I will continue to pray, and I will continue to do everything that I possibly can to make this world a better place for our children. I love you guys. Hold a hand, have faith, say a prayer, but most importantly, imagine. Love you.
Wow. Wow. That was emotional just watching that. How was that for you?
I can't watch it. Like
Did
watching
you just
it when
turn
I'm
your
like,
head away?
huh?
I said, did you just turn your head away?
I just kind of looked down. Like, I don't know. It was nice to get it out. It was hard to get it out. But it's just hard to kind of listen to it, because it's still so heavy on my heart. She wasn't able to hold her baby, in one of the testimonials, my aunt Addie, she said they're they're always your baby, no matter how old they are, they're still your baby. And I feel those words, and there are no words, it's like I was trying so hard, and then I tried not to cry, and then you think about the whole thing, and it's just tragic. And Wilder and Ahmaud Arbery, they share the same birthday, as so many people do, right? But for me, I'm walking around our neighborhood, and I should share this picture, the happy birthday balloon blowing in the wind, and I'm really thinking about her, and I'm thinking about how her son was taken from her. It's hard.
Wow.
It's hard. It's hard. And I am not the person to like share a lot of personal information about myself, or I'm, like I try to put out positive vibes, but it was time for me to not be so closed in, because I blamed myself a lot, because it's like I don't ever talk about it. I don't ever talk about social injustice or racism or discrimination. I pray about it. I know who my people are. I know what my bubble is. I know where my friends stand, my family stand, and I just like God. He's gonna fix it. But then I started thinking about faith without works, and this is the work I'm doing to talk about it. And I am so. And I said this, all of my efforts into making this world trying my best, right? It's not going to be overnight. I don't have a magic wand, to making this a better place for our children. it won't always be on social media. Like, I'm really into finding ways that I can help people. And if that may be just finding the little things in life to be grateful for, or just talking, like, it's just, there has to be something more. We've got to do better for our children, that we have to.
Well, you know what? I sort of like charged in, and that's the challenge of talking to people who I love, and I got to participate in this campaign. And Kendra is so humble. I didn't start with my normal, like, give you an introduction to yourself, but I'm going to say that Kendra Norwood Brown is an amazing person. After all, you just heard her say she's a mother of Wilder, and she's married, and she's very happy, and she is very private, but she is a singer-songwriter. And a part of this campaign in the last, it was from June 15th to June 30th?
Yes, it was like, yeah. Oh, making me count.
No. But it was like mid-June to the end of June.
It was for 15 days. And the reason, it was just literally, it just came to me. 15, I want to mess it up, but it's like a harmonious life. It's the start of something new. And I was standing in my kitchen and I was making dinner, and I was like, all right, God, my husband and I, we both collaboratively put Imagine into the universe, right? The song that I wrote and my husband played. And then I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do next? What is there left for me to do? And then it came to me, the With Love Testimonial series. That's how it kind of happened.
I think that's so great, because I think, particular as believers or people just of major conscience, they have been pulled. I mean, you can't help but to be pulled in your heart when you're hearing about all these things that are happening over the world, and you want to participate. You're busy, or like you were saying, maybe you're very, very private and you're not sort of known, right? Whoa.
Okay.
Not sort of known for sort of making a fuss about things, or
Yeah.
One thing I love about Kendra, and she's actually so super multi-talented, is that when I met Kendra, not only was she working along with one of our friends that we'll talk about a little while, but she was being managed as a country music singer. I know.
Yep.
I know. Y'all, look at me. Yes. This beautiful chocolate girl was knocking it down in country music singing, and it was so naturally a part of her life and what she loved. And I never met a person like that before. So talking about going against the grain and countercultural, I mean, and is fearless about it. Now, she could sing anything, but that was a part of her heartbeat. So a few number of years ago when I was in Atlanta, that's how I met her. And so for her to say, I got to do something, but she focused on love or doing love testimonials. Could you just talk a little bit more about why did you choose that format?
Gosh, that's so. Well, I try to lead a life of love. Like, I really try hard to love, no matter what. I try hard to forgive. I try hard not to hold hate in my heart for anything or anyone or any situation. And that's kind of how I went towards it. Because there's so much evil and hate going on in the world. I didn't want to come at it or talk about it in that manner. It was important to me to just attack it with love. And I wanted people to talk about it from their standpoint. So all of the questions that I sent the participants, it was all so what's the word I'm looking? It was all based on, yes, I know them personally, but it was all based on their heart and what they're going through and what they it was sent so they could answer it from the heart, if that makes sense. Like the very, very first episode was my beautiful friend Latrice Geis. And I know she doesn't have children yet. And I knew that I needed someone to answer this question. And I knew that I wanted it to be a Black woman to answer it. I knew that if not saying that any other race, you know, is afraid to have children, but during this time right here, it needed to be a Black woman. And I asked her, I'm going to word this differently, but I basically asked her, are you afraid to have children in the current state of this
Wow.
world? And I wanted her to answer it as honestly as possible. And I was like, look, I know it's one of those vulnerable type questions. And I couldn't ask people to do that if I wasn't willing to be vulnerable myself. You know,
Yeah.
so I definitely I didn't even tell my husband I was posting the video about me talking. I just did it, and he was like, "You didn't tell me about it." He was like, "I know." It was just it's one of those things that I just leaped and did it, and I knew that the first episode needed to be that important. And for
Wow.
Latrice to answer those questions, she did a phenomenal job.
I mean, you all, I want you, and I'm going to remove the banner real quick. I want you all to go to Kendra Norwood Brown's Facebook page because I believe they're 18, 19, 20. Well,
Yeah,
there's
they're 20.
18 testimonials, and then a 19 was a tribute that we just saw before. And then the 20th was sort of like a compilation of some of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
testimonials, right?
yeah.
And then
Yep.
you also have a video, which I'm hoping I can show here. But you know, the more I thought about it, the more I should push people to go to your page to watch it so
It's
they can
very
see
funny.
more
You have
of
to
it.
scroll down some. Yeah, It was really funny. Oh gosh, like for that video, I was like, let me call on my family and friends to send me pictures of their children or themselves or living life, because I mean that's the point of it, right? Like we want to keep living our lives in a harmonious and beautiful way, but we
Yeah.
can't do that if we're not imagining a better world. Right? Like we can't move forward if we can't all come together. And that's another reason why I wanted to have different people, different races, all kinds of kinds coming together. That's what I wanted. It had to be that way because this isn't one world with one race. It's one world with multiple races.
Well, let me tell you, that was really interesting to me because I didn't, you know, when you were like, "Hey, you want to participate?" I think I saw like one person, and he was so vulnerable, and he was a part of the LGBTQIA community. I think that's the right initials now. And I was really
Ben.
struck how human his response was, and I was just like, wow, this is so beautiful. And then it was only until after it was all closed up that I went back and looked at everyone's testimonial, and everybody was so different, but everyone talked about how important it is to love. And I thought also how interesting it was how everyone's desire or imagination as to what a better world would be was really a lot more alike than it was different. Were you surprised by anyone's response, good or bad? Not that any of them were bad, but just
Mhm.
like, oh, I didn't think they would share that, or I didn't, you know, I didn't know that they were going to go there.
They all surprised me. I'm not gonna like. I knew that everyone that participated in it, I knew they were gonna speak well and from the heart. And some people were like, "Oh man, I don't know what to say. I need to think about this first." I appreciate that. You know,
Yeah.
having a well thought out idea or thought, or your process is well thought out. I appreciate that. And
Right.
there are a couple of things. So I think it was episode 10, and it's Military Kid, I think I'm right, and it's with Tanisha and Deidre. They both don't know each other. They've never met before. And the thing that surprised me the most is they both said at the top of the videos that they sent, I grew up a military kid, a military brat. So I grew up around all kinds of people, all kinds of cultures, all kinds of races. And then towards, as I kept like listening to their videos, it was just interesting. One's Black, one's white, but they're both moms trying to figure out how to raise their kids from their standpoint, from a military kid standpoint. Like I grew up
Yeah.
around all of these beautiful things, and now I'm not that their kids aren't like not that they don't, but it's just a different situation, right? And I thought
Yeah.
it's one of those things that make me realize even more, yes, we're all different, but we're so the same. It's just
Yeah.
it's it's weird. And everybody's standpoint was different. It's one of them, Laura, I asked her the question about George Floyd and the signs that were being held up about when George Floyd called for his mom, all moms were summoned. And that one line, she said, that's just it. I feel summoned. I feel called upon.
Wow.
And that to me is powerful because it's like, she's not thinking about, you know, and I know that race plays a big issue, but she's coming from a mom. She's coming from her heart. Now this is mom talking, right? And I feel like she touched on so many moms. Like it's her job to raise a good human, and that's why how and why. Sorry, I'm stammering. How and why
you're fine.
I went into it thinking I'm a mom, and I need to raise a good human. You know, I want to, right? And it's like everybody's saying all these beautiful things, and then you put them all together, and they're really all saying the same thing: love.
Well, I thought it was so awesome that people being honest about issues of race, and I participated, and you sent me questions, and I didn't know at the time, like, okay, are those other people's questions too?
No.
You asked me, how does it, how does it feel to be a Black woman? You asked me about the norm being so disrespectful right now in the atmosphere, and you had to cut down because I was going in.
Oh, you were. Oh no, you're not the only one.
I'm sure.
Oh my God. The bonus footage. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just thought it was interesting because race, or I would say responses to racism, was discussed, but it didn't feel like, I don't know, it just hit a different type of a different level of humanity. And maybe you put it correctly. Like this woman, she responded not to the color of the skin, but to the status of what a mother would feel if she heard someone call out for a mom. And I'm sure you've been at the mall or in a store and you hear any little kid say mom. First of all, you perk up your ear to see if it's your child. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
no, you're right.
You know, and I hear mom, I know they're not talking about me, so I ain't worried about it.
Right.
So, or if you're in the military, or, if you're a jogger, or just the humanity of everything. And I remember on Ahmaud Arbery's birthday, going out to walk, and I normally only walk as I'm trying to get my health and fitness together. But for the first and like the last time I've done this, but I know as I lose weight, I'll have more opportunities to try different things. But during that walk, like probably I don't know how long I walked. I think I walked like 4 miles. Like every mile I tried to run a little bit, just push myself. But my heart really broke about that situation. And who knew that was going to be one of many, or at the time didn't even know about Breonna Taylor, who passed away before him. And who could have imagined, after all that was sort of brought to the public's attention, that we would have George Floyd with an audience, not just a videotape, but people around him. And I was like, well, truthfully, I've watched small parts. I know before it's over, not live, but like probably before the summer's over, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna make myself watch it. Sort of like the Passion of the Cross. I think, although that's fictional, that I needed to. When they have the scenes where my Jesus is being, the character playing Jesus is being beaten, I was like, I had to open my eyes like this, because it's so easy to pass over.
Yeah,
the sacrifice he made. So in this situation with George Floyd, I was like, I need to watch it, both because of my profession. I mean, God knows I've seen some stuff, particularly in murder cases, but also like the thing that makes you want to turn away is the thing that makes a lot of Americans want to turn away. So, but because I have a different context, and I think people do need to be mindful of secondary trauma that is not necessary for anyone. You just say he was there for 8 minutes, 46 seconds, and you see the cop put his, hands in his pocket. But I just think that we need more love today. And it sounds so easy, but it's hard to love. And there are times I think about how it sounds to people as kumbaya, but no, I mean, even when the word says love your enemies, that's not just like don't hurt them. That's like literally finding compassion in the worst person and say that part of you as a human, I respect and I love. I don't love what's coming out your mouth. I don't even love that you may want to hurt me, right? I'm not stupid. But I'm going to choose to love you beyond what you deserve right now, because I'm not going to let you turn my heart against what inevitably be against myself and the community, because you can't combat hate with hate. But it's so easy to want to do that, because like, are you lost your mind? Did you just talk to me that way?
Right.
So that's why I thought it was so powerful to be a part of your campaign, because it reminds me of scripture that talks about how the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God for the tearing down of strongholds. And then, so the idea that my weapons, the weapon of love, is more powerful than any Uzi, any, social media campaign that may cause, what seems like irreparable damage to my reputation, to systematic racism or promote systematic racism or whatever. But I still have a weapon that's greater than yours. And it starts with love. Love casts out all fear, first of all, So even the idea for me after the Ahmaud Arbery situation, I am not, I'm not lying when I say for a while I had to push myself to go walking outside. And every car that passed, and don't be a car that looks like it has a rebel flag on it, or a truck, any truck with any white man in it, which I would assume would be a white man because where I live is predominantly white. I would like stop and look and probably take a few paces to just slowly look at the truck pass by, because I would think, what if they just have a gun and they want to shoot me and keep driving, And I was like, I don't want that, Lord. I don't want to be afraid of that. That's not me. Hear my heart for anyone's listening, that it is common sense also to be smart, just like any woman or anybody out walking or doing anything. But I was like, God, I don't want to have to fear walking a half mile to my parents' house that I won't make it there because I think someone in a truck in particular with the gun could just hurt me.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely correct. You said something about not living in fear, and one of the participants said that, I think Robin Reeves, I think he did. He says the Bible tells you not to live in fear. He said something like that, because I think his question, I think I asked him, are you afraid to come home to your family? Are you afraid you won't be able to come home to your family? Or it's the way I put it. And he basically said, I don't want to live in fear. The Bible says not to live in fear, but sometimes, there are situations and moments where I am afraid. So it's hard. That's what it is. It's just hard. It's hard not to harbor hate. It's hard. I don't know. Like, I know people say it's hard not to love, but I just find it so much easier than walking around with the bucket of hate on my back. I just find it so much easier to forgive myself, forgive the person, forgive the whole situation, and try to move on with love in my heart. I have to, because if I am a person who, like, I think about things. I'm thinking, like, what happened? Why did this happen? Like this, that, and who, and the when, and the whys, and it's like, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. I have really learned to not forget, but forgive and move on for myself and for others. It's
you know
hard.
what? And it's also too, because whether it was patterned before you or you were just really graced to experience it, the benefit of loving and forgiving. I think sometimes and I put myself a part of that, even though I really don't deal with that I got plenty other bad habits, but that's not one of them. I don't hold a lot of grudges. But sometimes when the pain and the trauma has hit you so hard, it's almost a comfort to stay in the trauma than to let it go. Because when you let it go, then it's like, well, the consequences of the trauma, the hurt from the trauma, in some cases the death from the trauma, how can I let that go? It seems like to do it gives it no value. But that's like the crazy part. It actually gives you more value, because you're not going to let it keep you from experiencing whatever you need to experience with your arms open. And I think in certain circumstances, it's easier to say, right? It's easier to say, but it doesn't mean that it's any more true or false. But, you know, say for those who've been molested, molested by a family member, and they're holding on to what we would say is justifiable trauma, that it can express itself in hurt. They will be freer when they forgive, but it's a huge ask, and it often comes with the help of counseling, therapy, Holy Spirit prayer, but that's not like a fast thing to come up. Now, if you called me a nigga when I was in first grade, Walter Horn, then no, actually it was seventh grade. But it's easier for me, even if I associate my experiences, say, with white men or white men academically, which I did, is like, I'm always in competition with you. You're gonna, in the back of your mind, you're calling me nigger, and that comes from that experience.
That word is such a disgusting word to me. I hate it.
It is a disgusting word, and I say it so freely.
People, it's a, yeah. People
well, I say it freely because I try not to. I don't say it freely in conversation.
No, I know you personally.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's just the idea that cutting that you feel is how I felt.
Right.
And, you know, and just to complete the example, I grew up, you know, in a predominantly white town, but Southern, very different. And my parents and my social life was predominantly Black when it comes to after school hours. But in school for years, my best friends were white. I was in honors and AP classes. So for a while, I was like the only one or one of three. And I think it was junior high that I recognized that my good white friends, some of them, or classmates, some of them became bolder in expressing that you may think that you're down with us, but you're not. So that experience of him calling me the N-word was like gut-wrenching, not just that he did it, but that no one around us said anything. So then you take this to, I had to defend myself. I didn't necessarily handle it well because I think I hit him. But take me to now 2020, and when you check out, for you who may not have seen the testimonial, I do have mine posted to the Hope More page.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I relate a similar situation, and I didn't, you know, break it down to where that comes from, where that sense of injustice and a disappointment that someone disrespected me. And I didn't note in the testimonial, it was a white person who's older, who's a male, and I'm younger, Black and female, on a board where there's no Blacks, and I probably am the youngest person. And then I've been in Atlanta for 26 years. So for some people that may seem Yankeefied, even though we know Atlanta was one of the heart seats of the South. And so that gave me even more, you know, let's say, grudges that I thought I put down, that I had to exercise a process like hope. What is most important in this moment? You're trying to make an emergency decision. This needs to be handled. But if you speak how you feel, you can do more irreparable damage. And then you're brought into the toxicity of that moment. And that's what so I guess my point is that I heard from seventh grade, walked in there with me in the board meeting, and I had to decide if I was going to let that hurt seventh grader dictate how I was going to respond. Was I going to hit the person? No. Was I going to cuss them out? I don't cuss people out anyway, so no. Am I going to, you know, we're trying to make an emergency decision. Am I going to let it be all about me as I feel that this person made it all about them? No. And it's like love says the emergency situation needs to be handled. Let's handle that. Professionalism says, yeah, that was a personal attack, but when they go low, what does Michelle say? You go high. And I waited for almost a whole month before the next meeting, and I had already asked to be placed on to talk about communication protocol. So it was not just this personal defense, but watch the testimonial and get a sense of something that happened. But it just, I knew that I was sort of proud of myself, but I also had to recognize that maybe there's another level of forgiveness. Because forgiveness doesn't mean that you don't recognize. Like if you've been hit in the mouth all the time with a shoe by your grandma, you see a flying shoe, you don't obviously like go, well, what's that zooming by my head? You know that's a shoe. So I'm not saying forgiveness is standing there letting a shoe come at you, but it's like now you are older. Hopefully your prayer life and your sense of who you are is better, so when you see it coming, you know how you can respond in a way that won't take you down a bitter path. And so yeah, that I think that's really, really important. And I agree with you, loving is lighter, but a lot of times it creates more fear
Yeah.
because you especially in certain communities, like, well, what, do I have anyone else who's going to come up and help protect me, or I'm just exposed, or do I look weak?
That's that. Oh, that's me. Like I feel so ashamed sometimes, like crying in front of people. I really
Oh,
do. Like I will cry at the drop of a dime, but for a while, like a long time, I never wanted to cry in front of people. Never. I didn't want to seem weak, or and that's just the honest truth. I didn't want to seem like, oh, I'm tough. And I know we all have our strong moments, but for me, that just seemed like I don't know. It's really hard. Like if I love you, I really love you, and I really respect you, and I adore you, and it's more comfortable makes me want to open up and be vulnerable. But like to put it
yeah,
out there for everybody to see is a lot for me, because I don't know. I don't know why I'm like that. I want to be better, but I'm really guarded for a lot of things. So this testimonial series has helped me in more ways than one. It's helped me. It really has. Yeah, I've been uncomfortable, and I've been like, people are going to judge me, and like, what's, like you think of all, then you start beating yourself up. Was that too much? Was that not enough? Did I open the door too much? And yeah, afraid of being judged. But then I thought about that, and I'm like, for anybody who doesn't like it or doesn't want to watch it, then keep scrolling. Like
exactly.
this isn't for. This is. I really wanted to create this so we can start talking. We
Yeah,
can't, again, I can't do it with the snap of my fingers or a magic wand to make it better. We have us as the adults. We have to start talking. We have to start coming together. We have to start leaning on each other. We have to come together and hope and pray and hold a hand in order for our kids to see that light. We
yes,
can't do that. We can't expect our kids to do better if we're not doing better. That's how I
that's
feel
such
about
a
it.
good point. I love it. Could you just share that phrase that's in your hook or chorus that like you hear on repeat
Oh,
at the beginning of every testimonial, and
okay.
how did that come to you as far as words to use almost like a mantra when you're looking at love and what it means to love?
That's sweet of you to say. It's hold a hand, have faith, say a prayer, imagine. Um, First of all, the lyrics for this song were on paper years ago. And I remember before my husband and I were a thing, before we eat, no, I'm serious. I recorded the verse and I sent it to him. I was like, what do you think about this? Is this too preachy? Like, is this like, I think that's how long ago it was. Like, it was on paper, I think. And I was touched. The lyrics before I even finalized the hook, the chorus.
Yeah.
I was inspired. It was after a nightclub shooting in Florida.
Oh, the Pulse nightclub?
Yes. I think I don't want
Was
to.
it a gay nightclub, and
Yeah.
a lot of people, like I think over 50 people were killed?
Yeah, it broke my heart. That hurt me a lot. My mom was sitting in the den watching, and she was it was like, it was when I think someone texted their mom, I'm not gonna, it was something
Oh,
like that. And then after that, then it was like different things kept happening. Another black man, somebody else was shot and killed, and police brutality, and things just kept happening. And the lyrics just kind of poured out, and then I left it alone. And I was like, this is too preachy. Nobody's going to want to hear this. Nobody's going to listen, going to want to listen. And then Ahmaud Arbery happened, and then that's when I finished it.
Wow.
And that's
years between. Man, that is awesome.
I just thought it was too preachy. I didn't know people were going to want to listen to it.
We need to hear it. It's
But,
not preachy. I mean, in fact, the one thing outside, right, is that you say, hold a hand, meaning you're not by yourself.
Right.
You know, this is not all on you. And I really want to encourage you, Kendra, because I think what's needed out there are multiple voices and multiple mediums when it comes to particularly speaking to injustice. And as women of color, in particular, speaking to the whole concept that we as people of color, we as Black people matter, that everything can't come through a bullhorn and on the street. Everything shouldn't. There's some people, actually, a lot of people with the most influence will never get on the street. They may work in banking systems, and they may say, they may focus on stealth operations. Like, we're going to get more mid-manager people of color to another level. We're going to mentor. And if it was too much noise made, then the old boy system may stop us. So everything can't be loud and in the street. And then those things that are in the street, especially those things that are peaceful, in my opinion, they bring awareness. You can't get away from it. You're driving to work. You can't get away from it. You can't just choose not to hear or say it. So those are effective. And actually, tomorrow, I'm going to bring back on a friend of mine who did a peaceful Jericho walk type of march last Sunday to focus on women who have been killed or had police brutality. And I'm like, I love it. Just some of the things that she did in preparation. I'm like, there's different voices of protest. And similar to you, she felt compelled, like, how can I add something worthwhile? And I love it. I love that this, again, to me, this is not a carnal weapon. Love is not a carnal weapon. It's powerful, but often too much is confused with weakness or sappiness. But that love says, the Bible says love covers a multitude of sins. It says that love, does not keep track of wrong, believes all things, hopes all things. Love never fails. So I know people sometimes think I'm obsessed with my own name, but hopes all things. Love is in the middle of your worst crisis. It says it's allowing you to hope. It's allowing you to have faith. That's why it's the greatest, because you may be in a tough spot now, but love says it can get better, and it will get better, and it hopes all things, it believes. And I, a few weeks ago, contacted a number of my white male friends, acquaintances that I've known over the years to ask them certain questions. And one was about, do you believe that this atmosphere is ripe for a race war? Because it's something that I've been praying about for several years, actually. And I won't go too much into a tangent, but when I think about love, believeth all things, hopes all things, one of the things I have been grappling with since those conversations, particularly because some of the perspectives is just so, you would think we were in two different worlds. It's like, you know what? I'm going to put in the atmosphere. I'm going to put in the culture what I want to see brought back. And whatever happens, but I'm not going to aid it. So even some of the videos that I've seen, I was like, I'm not posting this on Facebook, because for somebody, they'll be like, yeah, that's right. We gonna do this race war. And for others, they be like, well, does hope support that? So I was like, you know what? Those are things I want to talk about one-on-one or in a group where we can trust each other, and we understand through even nonverbals where our heart is, and it's the kind of conversation I want to have with people who I already respect, and not put out there in a void where people are looking for excuses to say, yeah, this is a race war. So I think what you're doing and what you have done is to put out there a countercultural understanding that we have to love, hold hands, have faith, say a prayer. Imagine, what we are, what we think, right?
Yeah.
You know, whatever
I
is
agree with
pure and
that.
holy, that's what we should think about. So I think it's a weapon. Before we leave, and I promised you 40 minutes, but I'm going to stop promising people 40 minutes. Thank you for your time.
It's okay. It's all right.
That on the 19th episode, you came back on and you thanked everyone participating, but you also had a tribute regarding how cancer doesn't discriminate. And we're talking about the illness of cancer doesn't discriminate. Could you just share with my audience why was that so heavy on you to share regarding like episode 19?
So I don't even know how to say. So during the course of me posting the series, you and I both lost a sister, Sharon Tomlinson, and I didn't say this in the video, but a lot of what I'm doing, I learned from her.
Yeah.
She operated and owned Studio 11 Films. She was a true beauty from the inside out as well. Like that makes me want to be around people more when their heart is so like not open in a way, but like just there, right? Like, you know, a present person.
That's a
I
good
love that.
point.
I love that about her. And I mean, honestly, that was my friend, you know, and she was family.
Yes, yes, yes.
Family. And I genuinely, I don't have the words to, sorry.
That's okay. You know what?
She
That's
passed
why.
away from cancer. And the thing is, cancer doesn't discriminate. Cancer doesn't pick a group of white people, a group of black people, a group of whomever, Asians. And I don't want to, you know, offend anybody by saying those categories, but it feels like it doesn't do that. So why should we? It doesn't. And if it's like in her memory, she was love. And I felt it. I felt the need to mention her name and say her name and honor her in that way, because I don't know if it wasn't for me working there and doing that, you know, I don't know if I would have been able, you know, to do what I did. And it was just it's the weirdest thing how all of that aligned for me. And I'm heartbroken. Like I'm hurt. I'm really hurt about this. And I have a hard time talking about it.
And I appreciate you even sharing. Because it's been a week today. And I know you were special to Sharon, as I know I was too. And then I'm seeing hundreds of other people like, oh,
yeah,
she was my
touched
best
so
friend.
many.
I was like, she's your best friend. How's she go? But and it's funny, in the past, I've been so slow to say words like best friends, but she was one of my best friends. She proved herself more than once to just be there. And with her sickness having her all over the country, and presently my responsibilities in ministry and with my 75-year-old parents, and now with COVID-19, as we're planning to celebrate her life, is just still mind-blowing. But I love that you did dedicate that to her, and that tribute was beautiful. And she does remind us of love. And if we can't let cancer be more embracing of diversity and inclusive than
I get what you're
us,
trying to say.
that doesn't make
It doesn't
sense.
make any sense to me. It's just like, man, we got to do better. And to Damien and DJ, her husband and son, you guys are in my heart. I love you guys so much. Just I just want to lift them up in prayer, and I just want to. It's hard for me to talk about, but I love that family so much, and I'm praying.
Well, you know what? Praying for them is a great way for us to conclude. Do you want to pray right now, or I know you just said it generally, so I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
It's okay. It's
And
okay.
if we could include, and maybe again, you know, you don't have to get all Pentecostal revival long on us, but I also want to include in my thoughts today a woman that I have no idea who she is or met her in person. Her name is Joanne Glasgow. Here in Taylor County, Florida, we've been very blessed that we've only had like a little over 70 positive cases of coronavirus. And out of that, less than 10 hospitalizations. And until yesterday, we had no deaths associated. And I know we had maybe 1,200 people tested or 1,600 people tested. And so you have an understanding, there's like 25,000 people in the county, so it's small. But to have our first death, and that death to be Joanne Glasgow, who returned to this county having left to take care of her mother and sister. And one of the people she took care of, Dottie Henry, I understand is special needs. So this family, no matter how old she was, which I don't know how old she was, I know she was an older lady, they are suffering. And the same area, as well as the rest of the world, are debating whether or not people should wear masks in public. And even as the information came out about having Miss Glasgow die, could you believe it? Like, even though there was no mention of mask wearing or how she contacted it, people, or at least particularly one person in the comments, started commenting on whether or not anyone had a mask, like wanted to still bring in hateful responses. It's not that it's not a worthwhile discussion, but it's like literally the fact that mask wearing or social distancing or closing businesses or opening has become a political weapon, or just even a societal weapon against citizen is so sad. So I wanted to also pray for, I'm just calling Mrs. Joanne. And I said, we are Mrs. Joanne and she's us, and I pray for her family, and I pray for all over the country, particularly United States, that we learn to love each other. Let the default be love. Like literally when someone is just being disrespectful, everybody just turns their head in disbelief because whoa, people are dying because of this coronavirus. Why are we wasting energy on being disrespectful and ugly? We don't have to agree, but we don't have to cause more pain. So
respect each other. Right.
Yeah. So I'm just going to ask you if you just say a few words of prayer for the Thomason
Sure.
family, and I'll pray for the Glasgow and Henry family, and then we'll sign off. Thank you so much. It's 52 minutes. So I appreciate your time. And you guys give Miss Kendra a hand. I know you are. I know you are. So Kendra, I'll let you go, sweetie. Go ahead.
All right. Lord, sometimes I feel as if I'm not worthy of all of your blessings, but I do thank you for them. Sometimes I feel like I complain more than I say thank you, but the fact that we are both living and breathing, that is enough to be grateful and thankful for. Lord, please cover the Tomlinson family. Please be with Damien and DJ, and please let love and light lead the way. I pray for the Miss Joanne. Did I say that correctly? Miss Joanne?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I pray for her family. And Lord, I pray for the world. The world needs more love and less hate right now. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Oh, thank you so much, Kendra. One of the great things about the sadness of our friend passing away is that a lot of people are going to be gathering, even if only through streaming, and it's so good to be reconnected to you and to meet through your Facebook page, your family, and to hear all the wonderful things you're doing. Again, you guys, this is Kendra Norwood. Let me put your name back up there. Please go to her Facebook page. What's your Instagram handle?
Kendra Norwood.
Okay.
It's Kendra Norwood. Sharon actually just changed it to that. That was years back. I didn't have an Instagram. I didn't really care for it. And then years back, she was like, you need to get a Twitter and you need an Instagram. I'm like, oh, okay. So now
well, you better be glad that my laptop, the little glitch earlier is that my laptop started losing power and the cord is at my office, which I thought I would be recording at. So I had to figure out how to not interrupt. So I put on my cell phone and I had prepared to show you some pictures from that photo shoot. that
Oh
I helped
my
style you.
gosh.
Oh my goodness. You look
Gosh.
really cute, but we were gorilla gangstering it. And a picture of some other things and just ask you about it. And I didn't even realize that the poster I tried to create advertising today with us in the picture, that Sharon was right there in the corner. I didn't even notice she was in the corner. And I was like, you know what? That's so symbolic. She's over in our corner, over our shoulders. And not to be simplistic, now she's a part of the host of witnesses who will be coming and looking down on us and applauding us like she did in
Absolutely.
life. So
I thought about
we
that.
love you, Sharon. And today and all week, as I celebrate Happy New Year, I'm having I'm having things post at 11:11, which 11 was Sharon's favorite number. She did the Studio 11, the 11:11 project. So every time, even the other day, I got a text from a friend of hers at 11:11, and all she did was post 11:11.
Wow.
I mean, so I can't see those numbers without thinking of her. So that's sort of like my Carol Burnett, pull tug on your ear thing, that we're thinking of her and we love her and her family, and we will by the deposit she's made in our life, continue legacies. So thank you so much. But okay. All right then. All right. So you guys go to Kendra Norwood's page. Gives me permission, I'll share some of the stuff that I had wanted to share in the video until my laptop cut down. But we're just so proud of you, and let us know. Let me know when you're giving out, like not giving out, when you're doing new music or whatever, because I want to promote your love, honey. I want to promote your love. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11:11 a.m. where I'll have special guests. I'll bring back Chandrika, who was the leader of the pretty peaceful, powerful protest march for women of color on Sunday, and we're going to find out what went down, and it included someone passing out and an ambulance being called. So that's just a little tickler. We'll be talking to her tomorrow. I'll talk to you later, Kendra love.
Bye. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.